Hey, hi, hello, welcome to the Rodent Recital channel. Just a warning, I live in a pretty noisy household. It's also raining, so if you hear some noises in the background, just try and ignore it. So, welcome to the Rodent Recital channel. If you enjoy art, speed painting, stories, and some knob generally waffling about nothing, then come along. Come on a journey with me. Today I'm going to be doing some art of a spooky, ghostly scene, a girl walking through a dark house, and some apparitions are watching her. And fittingly, at the same time, I'm going to be discussing some of my own personal ghost stories. So stick with me, it's going to be fun. Story number one is called Ghosts at Grandma's. So when I was younger, my family and I would usually go to my grandma's house for holidays and birthdays and the like. And she lived on this big farm. When I would stay there, we would do karaoke, my family would get drunk, and we'd eat a lot of good food. And usually we'd camp or sleep over the night. So we'd get a tent from her and we'd stay in a tent somewhere on her property. She had a lot of fields. Or we'd stay in this caravan that she had on her property. Or we'd stay in an old cottage she had beside her house. Now, the cottage was kind of creepy, and I remember my grandma telling me a story of the farm burning down at some point, way before she lived there, and a little girl was trapped in the fire and she ended up dying. This night, when I was about 9 years old, we were staying at the farm, we were sleeping over, and we were staying in the cottage. We went to bed that night, and I remember waking up in the middle of the night and looking and seeing a girl sitting at the end of my bed. Now, I know I wasn't dreaming because I had frequent bouts of sleep paralysis when I was a kid, and I still have it to this day. So I am really good, and back then I was really good at knowing when I was dreaming, and I knew I was awake during this. So at the end of my bed, I saw a little girl sitting there. She was pale, she was shrouded in darkness. She had an old-timey dress on with scorch marks at the bottom, like ash, and it was blackened and burnt. She looked like she was folding clothes, like she was folding laundry. And I remember when I looked at her, she put a finger to her lips and she was like, shh. And it was so creepy. And I remember I just turned to my side, closed my eyes, scrunched them, and tried to go back to sleep. I ended up going back to sleep, and in the morning, I told my family. My mother is like really into ghosts, and she has been her whole life, so she believed me. The rest of my family were really creeped out, but that was like my first experience with ghosts. So the next story happened pretty recently, like 2 years ago, and it is called Man in My Room. So I was walking around my house, my girlfriend was watching TV. Now, for context, I had a brother who was stillborn, and my mother would always say that he was watching over me and that he looked the age he would be now instead of, being a baby. And I remember I was in my living room, and when you're in the living room and you look down the hallway, you can see directly into my open bedroom door. And I remember as I was walking around my living room, I saw the perfect figure of a person, a tall figure, clear as day, walking from one side of my room to the other. And I thought it was my girlfriend, because she's really tall, she's like 6'2". So I figured it was her. And I went to go to the room to say something to her. So I walked to the room, I walked in, she wasn't there. No one was there. No one was in my room. And I walked to my girlfriend, I found her sitting on the couch watching TV, and I did not see her before. And I was like, when did you get there? And she was like, I was sitting here this whole time. And I said, but I just saw you in the room. And she was like, nope, I never went to the room. And we were home completely alone. And that was really freaky. I told my mum about it, and she said it was probably my brother who I saw walking in my room, just making sure everything was okay, checking up on me. I'm sitting in my room right now, so that is pretty spooky. So my last story is hands on shoulders. This is something that happened to me, I would say about 4 years ago. I was at home on my computer, just, I don't know, going on Tumblr probably. I was a really big Tumblr kid when I was younger. I remember my dad was in the room and he was playing video games. So I was just clicking away on the computer, and I eventually felt hands on my shoulders, like a person's hands grasping my shoulders really hard. Not aggressively, but like, you know how like a loving person would put both hands on your shoulders and like give you a bit of a massage? That's what I felt. And I figured it was my dad. I turned around, no one was there. My dad wasn't at the lounge room, he wasn't at the TV watching, playing video games, and he wasn't behind me. My dad had gone outside to have a cigarette and he was not there. When he came back in, I was like, "Did you put your hands on my shoulders?" And my dad was like, "No, I never touched you. I went outside for a cigarette." And I was so spooked because I, clear as day, felt hands grasp the back of my shoulders. And it was so spooky. The rain is really heavy right now, which is adding to the ambiance. Those were like the spookiest encounters with ghosts I've had. So yeah, those are my stories. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was riveting for my first video. Let me know what you think of my art. Let me know if you like the shading. I've been told my shading can look a bit whack at sometimes. I've been working on a new kind of outline style, line art style. So let me know if you enjoy it. And I'm probably going to start a series on this channel where I talk about urban legends. So look forward to that. And thank you for watching.